When Elena and the guy she always regretted losing finally announced they were getting married, I didn't make a scene. I just calmly handed in my resignation letter. I disappeared, basically, overnight. Elena apparently called my phone like crazy, but I never picked up. I heard later that she hired a private investigator and even thought about filing a missing person report with the police. But by the time she was doing all that, I was already settled in beautiful Santa Barbara, sketching out plans for the upcoming flower season in my garden and ending my evenings at a neighborhood bar with a cocktail they called the Golden Hour. Life was peaceful and easy, comfortable and quiet, right up until the moment my small bed and breakfast went viral on Instagram. Elena happened to see a blurry photo of my face in the background of a post. That day, it was pouring rain outside, and the flowers in my courtyard, which usually looked like spring all year round, actually looked a bit droopy. While Elena Vance and Marcus were throwing their engagement party, I was sitting at home, feeling a little bored, typing out my resignation letter on my laptop. I looked at the screen. The wording felt too emotional. I hit delete. Just then, my friend and employee, Sam, called me to complain on my behalf. He said, "Leo, Elena is getting engaged, and the guy isn't you. How is that even possible? Thanks for reminding me," I said dryly. He kept going, saying everyone was talking about how I was about to get kicked out, and how I couldn't lose to a fake guy like that. I corrected him quickly. "He's the one that got away. The handsome, charming, unforgettable one. Everyone knows Marcus was the perfect guy Elena could never get out of her head." I added, "Besides, haven't I already been suspended from work?" "But you were set up," Sam argued. "Hey, listen," I said, cutting him off. "If Elena didn't believe me, it doesn't matter who else does." I went back to typing my letter. Sam had a sudden thought. "Leo, you aren't actually planning on quitting, are you?" I nodded, then realized he couldn't see me through the phone, so I made a noise of agreement. "Yeah." He was even more against it now. "If you leave, you'll never be able to clear your name. You're just going to throw away all those years of hard work. It's not worth it to do something just out of anger." I stared at my fingers resting on the keyboard and shook my head silently. Sam didn't understand. This wasn't about being angry or spiteful. I genuinely just wanted to leave. I hit send. Success. My name is Leo, and I grew up in a group home for children. I knew from when I was very young that I was different from the other kids, but it never really made me sad. I actually felt lucky. They had regular moms and dads, but I had the staff at the home who raised me. Other kids had to take piano lessons or learn painting whether they wanted to or not. I was different. Out of all the possible hobbies, I chose gardening. I basically taught myself by watching others and playing around in the dirt. You could say I turned a hobby into a skill, and then I turned that skill into my college major. I stumbled my way through agricultural school, messing around with flowers and plants the entire time. If everything had gone according to my plan, I would have just been a happy gardener my whole life. And then, something unexpected happened. Back then, Elena wasn't CEO Elena yet, just a cool, distant girl at school. It was my fault, honestly. The weather report said there was going to be a storm that night, so I ran to the greenhouse lab to close the windows. I only realized after the heavy rain started that I had forgotten my own umbrella. Seeing nobody around, I was about to just run for it when Elena walked by under a huge umbrella. "Hey, can I get under there with you?" I yelled out. She glanced at me and kept walking. "Just to the main road. You'll be saving my life." Maybe I sounded desperate enough to make her feel bad, because she finally changed direction and walked toward me. The moment she saw my face clearly, she stopped, and I saw a little bit of surprise in her eyes. Was I looking particularly good under the streetlights? I doubted it, but I didn't care. Getting out of the rain was the only thing that mattered. "Where's your dorm? I'll walk you," she said. Perfect. Since she was helping me, I pulled a small potted plant I had grown out of my bag. "Thanks. This is for you." "I don't want it," the cool girl said. She wasn't much for conversation. "I'm allergic." Well, so much for us ever being friends. You know how it goes. After you meet someone once, you start running into them everywhere. We gradually got to know each other, and eventually we were hanging out every day. I learned that Elena was in the fancy business school next door, and that her family had a lot of money. Of course, I also learned that the real reason she was so friendly with me was because of him, the one that got away. Apparently, we looked a lot alike. One of Elena's best friends had the exact same reaction the first time she met me. "You look exactly like Marcus," she said. Then she paused. Whoa, should I have said that? "Who is Marcus?" I asked. "Elena's childhood sweetheart. Too bad he dumped her and went overseas to study music. I don't think she ever got over it." The friend who talked really fast suddenly realized she had said too much and looked embarrassed. "Don't mind me, I'm just rambling." I waved it off. It was fine. We were just regular friends then. Later on, Elena and I started spending more and more time together, getting closer. Everyone assumed we were a couple. Sometimes I even thought we were. I never asked Elena if I was just a replacement. After all my years of gardening, I had learned to just appreciate the day. Life is hard enough. My philosophy was to enjoy the moment. When we graduated, she invited me to be her assistant. It looked like she was heading home to take over the family business. Tagging along for a comfortable life while still having time for my plants didn't sound like a bad deal. From then on, she became the young Ms. Vance, and I became her assistant, Leo. If I had to rate her, to be fair, Elena was pretty good to me. It was a slow process. The more I saw her, the more I liked her. And after she started coming with me to the group home to visit the women who raised me and the younger kids, I found myself liking her more and more. Because I insisted, she would sit in a greasy, hole-in-the-wall diner watching me eat until my face was shiny. Then she would pull out napkins with a disgusted look on her face. It was fine. She thought I wasn't fancy enough, and I thought she didn't know how to have fun. After working overtime for 2 weeks straight, I was complaining non-stop, talking about how terrible corporate life was. This time Elena knew exactly what to say. "I'll give you a raise." But sometimes I really wanted to shake her. When we went to the movies, I'd pick a comedy, and she'd pick some complicated artistic film. When I suggested a romance movie, she'd just say, "You wouldn't understand." Elena's ringtone was some classical piano music. When I told her it didn't match the vibe of a woman in her 20s, she'd say, "You wouldn't get it." Worst of all, for my birthday, Elena gave me a vinyl record of a specific classical piano song. I was angry and asked her, "Elena, it's my birthday. Are you joking with me right now?" She justified it by saying, "If you don't get it, you should listen to it more." My initial happiness at getting a gift was replaced by shock when I opened it. I was floored that she would do something so strange. I definitely didn't get the piano music. What I did get was the urge to splash water on her face to wake her up. I don't get this. I don't get that. Who was the one who really didn't get it? It sure wasn't me. I understood everything. It was just that she still missed him. And that wasn't a huge deal. Doesn't everyone have one person they regret losing? My therapist used to say, "The thing you can't have is always the most tempting." But the women at the group home also said, "Treat people with sincerity. If you want something, you have to work for it." Since Elena was my girlfriend now, I figured I should treat her well. A little better, and then even better. That way she wouldn't have time to think about Marcus. Elena was so busy managing the company branch that she often skipped meals. So I made it my job to watch over her. I'd plan out her meals for the next day, trying new things constantly. I couldn't promise they would taste amazing, but they were definitely healthy. It became the most important part of my day after work. Sometimes Elena had to go to business dinners. I decided I'd go to every single one. If nothing else, I could drink some of the alcohol for her or nudge her under the table when she was about to drink too much. And if she really got drunk, I could at least have a glass of water with honey ready for her. If I didn't get anything else out of it, all those dinners definitely improved my ability to handle alcohol, and I ended up drinking more and more for her. At first, Elena would say no, but later on, maybe because the party was too fun or the atmosphere was too good, she'd forget. Eventually, she just stopped saying anything. If it weren't for the time my stomach hurt so bad after a night of drinking, I might have thought I was naturally gifted at holding my liquor. And so we continued, a team taking on everything. Until one night, we both had too much to drink. We were looking at each other, and we got closer until our hair was touching. My brain must have stopped working because at that important moment, I asked her, "Elena, who am I?" Elena must have been completely drunk. She looked at me, confused. Then it was as if she finally recognized me. She shoved me away. "I'm sorry, Leo. Take tomorrow off to rest." Damn it. The girl I was close to was gone. And damn it, the question I had been keeping inside finally came out. For the next few days, we weren't alone together. I waited for her to come to me to apologize or explain. But I have no idea what she was waiting for, that clueless woman. We could be ignoring each other, but the work still had to get done. Business is business, that's my rule. After rushing to meet deadlines for days, everyone was exhausted. When Elena announced that for once there would be no overtime because she had something to do, all the office workers with families and pets packed up and left immediately. I, on the other hand, only had myself to take care of. With nothing better to do, I figured I might as well get some overtime pay. They all left. "Why are you still here?" The voice was familiar. It was Elena's fast-talking friend. "What are you doing here? She's not in." "She said she had to go out for something," I said, eating chips and watching a video. "I know. A few of us are getting together for Marcus tonight. I just stopped by to grab her gift for him." Her words came out without thinking, a huge surprise with no warning. So Marcus was back. So that was Elena's something to do. Why didn't she tell me? How could she not tell me Marcus was back? Marcus came back with his ego and Elena's affection. He was clearly aware that I existed, but didn't care about me at all. The first time he came to see Elena and met me, he looked at me with a smirk that wasn't friendly. I heard from overseas that Elena had hired an assistant who looked a lot like me. I knew it had to be you. You really do look like me. Anyone who didn't know better would think we were brothers. Too bad I don't have any. Do you? Any brothers or sisters? Do they all look like you? Oh, right. I heard you studied plants. Next time the garden needs work, I'll be sure to ask for you. His words made me laugh. No problem. I'm great with flowers and my prices are fair. I'll even give you a discount. Mr. Marcus, next time you're here, let me give you a specific plant. It looks harmless, but it eats bugs. It would suit you perfectly. Don't forget to ask me for it. Marcus was angry. Don't you dare insult me. What good is being a gardener? Elena is allergic. But she loves hearing me play the piano. She comes to every one of my concerts. Can you do that? I shook my head. I can't. But playing the piano isn't any better than gardening. The only difference is that you do it to please Elena, and I do it to please myself. What's the point of all this talk? You think I don't know you like Elena? But she loves me. You're just her assistant. He cut me off with a sneer before I could even finish. I've asked her about your relationship several times. She's never once said you were her boyfriend. Marcus walked away with his head held high. He certainly had the confidence to be arrogant. Wasn't I Elena's boyfriend? No wonder she never made the first move, never rejected me, but never confirmed it. No wonder I never got an explanation. She had never even acknowledged my status to begin with. How ridiculous. In the end, it was all just a stupid fantasy, a nice dream that turned into nothing. I wasn't even acting like myself anymore. This was all wrong. I don't know what Marcus said to Elena. That afternoon she came to find me for a rare, private conversation. Don't say all that nonsense to Marcus, he'll get the wrong idea. What a perfectly annoying couple. Work continued, but Elena never spoke to me alone again. Marcus, however, made a habit of showing up to show off his position. He'd pour out the coffee I made right in front of me, calling it cheap. Fine. One less thing for me to do. He could drink it or leave. After hearing that I used to bring Elena homemade lunches, Marcus whined to her that he wanted some too. Unable to say no to him, Elena came to me and asked if I could bring an extra portion the next day. I nearly rolled my eyes. So I was just a background character in their romance movie. Sure, $100 a meal, flat rate, 2-meal minimum, no less. Okay. What did I ever see in Elena? Rich and dumb. Marcus had already taken over many of my assistant duties and won back Elena. Now he wanted my little flower pot. Calling it a little flower pot was an understatement, really, since it had never even held a flower. This time, Marcus pointed to the empty ceramic pot on my desk. This little pot is quite unique. You're not using it, Leo. Why don't you just give it to me? Of course, I said no. It wasn't just that I already disliked the guy. This pot was special. I had made it myself. Elena and I had made it together. She had shaped the clay, and I had smoothed it out. After it was fired at the studio, I spent 2 whole weekends painting it carefully. I wasn't willing to give it up, which made Marcus even more determined. He insisted he had to have this pot. While we were arguing, Elena arrived. Elena, I think Leo's little pot is really special, but he won't even let me look at it. Could you talk to him for me? Marcus grabbed Elena's arm, his eyes mocking me. Elena seemed a little embarrassed and gently pulled her hand away, but she couldn't stand to see Marcus upset. Leo, it's rare for Marcus to be so interested in something. Could you... She paused. The words, "give him the pot," were apparently too hard to say. Even someone as bold as Elena couldn't get them out. Why don't you just send Marcus a link so he can buy one for himself? At her words, Marcus's face changed. So did mine. Elena truly had a talent for offending everyone with one sentence. That clueless woman. She couldn't see that her old boyfriend wasn't after the pot, but was trying to make me angry. Nor did she remember for a second that this was the little thing we had made together with our own hands. I sighed. Leo, Marcus. It was clear whose side she was on. She didn't know anything, and she had never cared. What was I even fighting for? It was pointless. This pot is old and cracked. It's not good enough for Mr. Marcus, I said, tossing it into the trash can. As for the link, the store is gone. If you like it so much, Ms. Vance, you can find it yourself. Another bad ending. This kind of meaningless fight brought me no joy. They say flowers don't have feelings, but people do. I disagreed. Flowers and plants were much nicer. After that, Marcus thankfully left me alone for a while, and I enjoyed the quiet. But the good days didn't last long. The project Bidar branch had been working on for over a month, with countless hours of overtime, failed. Others might not have known, but I knew. This shouldn't have happened. We had done everything right, treated the clients to dinner, everything. To have the deal canceled at the last second was unbelievable. Leo, get in my office. Even with the tense mood in the office lately, Elena never used that tone with me. I had a very bad feeling. Leo, I'm going to ask you this very seriously. Did you at any point leak our confidential pricing? My head snapped up. A chill went through me. Elena, the woman who had worked alongside me all this time, was now suspecting me of betraying the company. Elena, I never thought you'd be the type to doubt me. Of course. He was everywhere. I have never spoken to anyone outside this company. Before I could finish, Marcus cut me off with a rude tone. But I heard the leak came from an account with a little flower as its profile picture. Isn't that you? I took a deep breath, telling myself over and over not to argue with idiots. The important thing was to solve the problem. You heard? Where did you hear that, Mr. Marcus? You're really stepping over the line. Elena's face immediately got dark. That's enough, Leo. You have no right to talk to Marcus like that. If Mr. Davis wasn't one of Marcus's uncle's connections, do you think he would have even looked at us? Right? How funny. Elena was lecturing me about rights because of some connection. I have no right? While you guys were throwing a welcome party for Marcus, I was here working late, crunching the numbers. I have no right? I clenched my fists. So what? I'm supposed to thank him for letting me take the blame? I'm asking you one thing. Do you believe me or not? Anyone else could doubt me, but Elena? She couldn't. I stared at her, looking for any sign of trust. There was none. See for yourself. She slid her phone across the desk. On the screen was an anonymous message with a screenshot showing a file being sent from my account. I was so angry I laughed. If you believe a cheap trick like this, then I was wrong about you. Beauty really is a curse. Ever since Marcus came back, Elena, you've turned into a complete idiot. Leo, Elena is being nice by not firing you publicly. Don't push it. Seeing them team up like this made me sick. I yanked open the door to her office. Ms. Vance, I don't need you to be nice. I know whether I did it or not, even if you don't. I was suspended. It was a decision Elena made based on the evidence and company policy. Fair and just. Great. Elena was responsible to everyone except me. I'd been working so hard for Elena ever since graduation. It had been a long time since I'd had a life of my own. The suspension was actually pretty nice. It was even better not having to watch their romance. The only problem was Sam, who wouldn't stop calling me with daily updates. Leo, you should have seen it. For the past 2 weeks, that Marcus kid has been acting like he's the boss, ordering us around. I think he might as well just take over. He did do one good thing today, though. He's holding a concert, so Elena finally gave us the day off. Too much free time really does make you overthink. I started thinking about the past again. I remembered my birthday, how I had wanted Elena to spend the evening with me, but she'd refused, saying she was too busy with work. My phone buzzed, pulling me back to now. Leo, my concert is tonight. You probably don't want to come, but I heard Elena is going to propose to me on stage. I still wanted to invite you to share in our happiness. The meanness was obvious. Fine. I'll go, I told myself. It's time to wake up. The women at the home always told me that recognizing and fixing your mistakes is a great virtue. I was wrong about her, and I was willing to change. That day, I went to Marcus's concert on time. From a lonely corner, I watched my first love come to an end, along with Elena's proposal. I spent a lot of time that day analyzing my failed relationship, and finally came to a conclusion. I'm a great guy, but Elena isn't worth it. Forget those two crazy people. Forget being an assistant. I'd die before I ever worked as an assistant for someone again. Besides, I had never even had a real relationship. Once I figured that out, I felt lighter. While I was calm, I started writing my final letter to the company, my resignation. It went from long and rambling to full of cursing, but in the end I was nice enough to wish Elena and the company well. The next day at work, everyone but me had seen their happiness. Marcus walked with Elena as she went from office to office, handing out wedding candy. When they passed by the assistants area, Marcus stood close to Elena. If only Leo were still here, he would surely help us arrange all this, and you could relax a bit. Why don't you just end his suspension? Elena placed a piece of candy on my desk, turned, and patted Marcus's hand. Okay, I'll listen to you. We'll consider the matter closed. I won't look into whether it was him or not. Sam, standing nearby, looked like he wanted to say something but waited. Finally, he caught Elena's attention. Leo already resigned. Ms. Vance, you didn't know. The noisy office fell silent. The sound of her shoes on the floor was very loud. What kind of joke is that? Is he throwing a tantrum? If people hear about this, how will he ever find another job? Sam, you ask him if he really wants to quit. After a moment of silence, Elena said angrily, "Let him," and slammed the door on her way out. The junior assistants in the office felt scared. They probably never expected that I, the pushover, would one day stand up for myself. A few of the younger women whispered, "Leo really got a bad deal. He was so good to Ms. Vance, and in the end he gets taken down by some lie. I know, right? He worked so hard on that project he ended up with a bleeding ulcer, and now he's being treated like a traitor. It's just not right." A bleeding ulcer? Who had a bleeding ulcer? Leo? Elena had come back, not expecting to hear this. The young woman jumped and pulled a few bottles of medicine from my drawer. "Ms. Vance, it was Leo. He's still taking stomach medicine." Elena froze. She knew how I got my stomach problems. It was from all the business dinners I'd gone to with her, from all the drinking. Back then, Elena had asked me if it was hard drinking so much. I had teased her. "You think everyone's like you, getting dizzy from just the smell of wine? I can drink way more than you. You're the one who needs to be careful." Elena's face went pale. Marcus, noticing she hadn't returned, came looking for her. Elena quickly fixed her face, returning to her usual cold look. "See? Even knowing I had worked myself sick for her, the second Marcus called, she was gone. I don't know who was more sad, me or Elena, and the only reason I know all this is not because I care about Elena, but because Sam loves to gossip. Days have passed since I quit, and Elena hasn't reacted, but I don't care anymore. I heard that Marcus still couldn't stand anything related to me, and made Sam clear out my desk completely. I heard that Elena walked past that empty desk every day without stopping. Until one day, she saw that little flower pot again. Sam said, "Ms. Vance, that's the pot Leo left behind. He threw it away, but I thought it was nice, so I saved it." It was the same dusty, plain little pot. Perhaps because I had thrown it away, a crack had appeared on the side. Marcus, thinking a cracked object was bad luck, was about to throw it out, but Elena stopped him. "Give it to me." Maybe because he was used to defending me, this time Sam didn't listen. "Ms. Vance, Leo made that himself. He's already resigned. Please just leave the pot alone." His words hit her hard. Elena looked pale. She didn't answer, just grabbed the pot and whispered, "He made it himself?" As if remembering something, Elena touched every part of the pot, finally finding the answer she was looking for on the inside of the handle. Our initials, meant only for us. "What else did he leave you?" Elena asked, her eyes red. "His notebook. It's full of his notes and reminders. Do you want to see it?" Elena took the book I had filled page by page and went to her office to read it alone. From her food preferences to how to manage her schedule, Elena discovered that I knew her better than she knew herself. But now, I had thrown it all away. The next time Sam contacted me, it was 2 years later. I had long since settled down in Santa Barbara. This city of flowers was where I belonged. I always felt bad about Sam. When I left, I didn't say goodbye to anyone. But I missed him. I had been alone for so many years, and it was rare to find such a good friend. Talking about my sudden leaving made us both sad. He mentioned a name I had almost forgotten. Elena Vance. He said Elena had nearly lost her mind. She tried everything, calling my phone over and over, rushing to my apartment only to find it empty. She even went to the group home only to find I had left without telling them either. Finally, she hired private investigators and filed police reports. She did everything she could, but I never came back. That was the first time I ever saw her so broken. She would just stare at your empty desk for hours. She'd work constantly and then spend every spare moment trying to find you. She wouldn't let Marcus get rid of any of your things. Leo, I think you won. Did I win? Not really. Because I had put my own heart on the line, too. But talking about it now was pointless. I didn't love her anymore. Life in Santa Barbara is truly wonderful. I opened a small inn here. The inn has a courtyard filled with flowers, and almost every guest takes a picture in front of my massive flower wall. I also love the city's nights. It healed me. Over the past 2 years, I've become good friends with Maya, the bartender at a local spot. Wherever there's a new drink, you'll find me. Leo, come here. I was scrolling through my phone today and saw this guy who looks exactly like you. He's from Chicago, too. What a coincidence. Maya was excited, showing me the account she had just followed. Of course, it was Marcus. What a coincidence indeed. I had just been talking to Sam about Elena, and now Marcus's account pops up. You know, his wedding diary is actually pretty interesting. Look at you, you guys look so similar, yet he's about to get married and you're still single. You should really get on that. So they were getting married. That's good. That was always how the story was supposed to end. Similar faces don't mean similar lives. I laughed. Well, that's because you rejected me. You have to take responsibility. Get out of here. Don't get any funny ideas. We are just friends. Before Maya could finish, she slammed her hand on the table, surprising everyone. Oh my God, Leo! Leo, I'm sure this is you. You're trending. That's how it is now. You can become a story instantly. My little courtyard had gone viral. The reason? It was just beautiful. Trending along with my flower wall was half of my blurry side profile. Before I could even think about it, Sam called me immediately. Leo, did you see it? The most beautiful inn. Elena is already on her way there. I can't save you. You're on your own. Well, what could I do? If she comes, she comes. This is my home now. I'm not running. I wasn't the one who did something wrong back then. I shouldn't have run away. Elena arrived early the next morning. I had imagined meeting her again many times, but I never thought it would be this calm. She didn't even have a suitcase, just stood there at the entrance. She looked tired and worn out. Elena's eyes were red as she stared at me. It's been a long time, Leo. In the past, she had said my name in so many different ways. This was the first time it sounded so resentful. Why did you leave without a word? I figured since she had come all this way, she was a guest. Long time no see. Come in for a cup of tea. She stood there stubbornly. Why haven't you contacted me for 2 years? Who gave you permission to leave? 2 years had passed, and she still couldn't understand plain English. Come in or don't. Just don't touch my flowers. I'm not taking you to the hospital if you have an allergic reaction. I turned and walked inside. You ask why I left? Should I have stayed and continued to be the person you blamed? If I hadn't left, would I have had a career left? Didn't you know I love gardening? What did I get for giving up my true passion? Your insults and your lack of trust. Did you ever once care if I was happy? Never. I became someone I didn't recognize. I had to go. Elena anxiously reached out, but I dodged her hand. I'm sorry, Leo. I know you were treated unfairly, but it's not that I didn't believe you. I just couldn't find any evidence at the time, and I had to give everyone an explanation. I laughed coldly. So I was the acceptable sacrifice. She didn't speak because she couldn't argue. After a long silence, Elena took a small box from her bag. Inside were 2 identical small ceramic pots. I immediately recognized one of them as my old flower pot. Leo, I've kept this pot for the past 2 years. We made it together. It was my fault for not recognizing it back then. Elena's voice grew softer. It cracked after it was dropped, so I went back to the same studio and made a new one. Can you accept it? Elena looked at me, her eyes filled with regret. I took the pot from her hand. Fine. Hearing this, Elena looked happy. She grabbed my arm. Leo, will you come back with me then? I pulled my sleeve from her grip and shook my head. Elena, we're over. I'm only taking this pot because it was mine to begin with. The pot did nothing wrong, and I happen to have a use for it. Elena spoke in a panic. No, Leo, we're not over. I was wrong before, but I do like you. I know you like me too. There's nothing to be sorry for. Liking you back then was my choice, and I don't regret it. But now I've moved on and started a new life. That's also my choice, and I don't regret that either. I cut her off. You should go back. Marcus is still waiting for you. He's waited for you for many years too. Don't let him down. That's not it, Leo. After you left, Marcus and I had a long talk. We just confused our feelings for each other. The person I've truly loved all along is you. We're not getting married. It's just that our family's businesses are too connected right now. Please give me a chance. Now that I've found you, I promise I'll fix everything. I want to build a home with you. I was stunned. If Elena had shown even the slightest hint 2 years ago that I was in her future, our story might have ended differently. But what's missed is missed. I did want a family, but I wouldn't chase something I couldn't hold on to. Elena, don't be stubborn. You just can't accept that I was the one who left you. You just don't believe that I truly moved on. Elena looked painfully sad. It's my fault. I brought this on myself. Finally, she laughed bitterly. You can't kick me out. Believe it or not, I'm going back right now to handle things. I'll be back this weekend. Mr. Innkeeper, save a room for me. I'll pay. With that, Elena turned and stormed off. I didn't stop her. Elena's brief visit didn't change my life at all, which made me feel relieved. It's not that I'm afraid of trouble, but my life right now is just too free. I have no desire to complicate things. The next time Elena came, Maya happened to be in my courtyard holding her new cocktail creation and bragging about it. Who is she? The moment Elena saw Maya, her face darkened. Well, who are you? Here to cause trouble for our Leo? Before I could say a word, Maya stood in front of me with her hands on her hips. She turned, linked her arm with mine, and whispered, Something's going on here, Leo. Tell me now. Elena tried to pull Maya away. Tell her to leave. I need to talk to you. Oh, so I'm in the way? Fine, I'm going, Maya said, winking at me as she backed away. I waved at her, and it was finally quiet again. Leo, I know you're still upset about what happened. This time I investigated thoroughly. It was Marcus, right? Elena was surprised. You knew? I smiled faintly. Of course I knew. Things like that don't just happen by accident. Elena, ask yourself honestly, did you really not know? You just didn't want to admit it was him. Otherwise, after 2 years, how did you manage to figure it out so quickly this time? Elena didn't argue, launching into another hurried explanation. Leo, I've already broken off the engagement with him. From now on, there will be no one else between us. I shook my head. Elena, don't try to make me feel guilty. You didn't break up with Marcus for me. You did it because he hurt your company and betrayed you. He wasn't worthy of you, and you two no longer had feelings for each other. It had nothing to do with me showing up again. Maybe my words were too harsh. Elena's face changed colors. Leo, I don't deny that I was wrong before, but I'm willing to change. You said you don't want to leave here, so I'll come to you. I can open a branch office here, move my business over, as long as you're willing to wait for me. Elena grabbed my hand. I'm not willing. Elena, don't you get it yet? I'm not willing to wait for you anymore. It was too tiring chasing after you, and it was too lonely waiting for you. I'm not willing to do either. I tilted my head and shielded my eyes from the sun with my hand. Do you know what kind of life I want? Elena was silent. You don't, do you? I don't have any big goals. I just want to be a little flower facing the sun. I don't want to depend on a big tree, and I don't want to become one either. So let's just call it quits. As for opening a branch here, don't be ridiculous. You know better than I do that it's not realistic. Are you going to throw away your resources, your connections, the entire foundation of your company? The more I said, the sadder Elena looked. Her voice choked. I can start all of that over from scratch, but I only want you. I shook my head, still firm. To look forward to the sunrise, to have someone on my mind at sunset, to have a purpose, to be busy, but not lost. That is the life I want. But it's not one you can give me. I really don't blame her anymore. There's no right or wrong when it comes to young love. Besides, I gained so much more than just a relationship. Elena left. This time I walked her to the gate. Before she left, I had her take a small succulent with her, planted in the little pot we once made together. The little flower I couldn't give her when we first met was finally given. I'm sure I'll meet someone in the future who is willing to cherish this little flower of mine. It just won't be Elena. Goodbye for real this time, my first love. Maya was waiting for us outside. Elena walked right past her without stopping. Maya rushed in, grabbing me. Who was that? An old flame, I sighed. Yeah, the ex-fiancé of that guy you were following online? Maya's jaw nearly hit the floor. She gave me a thumbs up. Nice. A man of few words. Nicely done. Man, she wasn't wrong. That girl has a sharp eye. She looked pretty down when she left. Did you break her heart again? I slapped away Maya's hand. You talk too much. Her? She's tough. She'll be fine. Later, Elena didn't come looking for me again. But she would often text me. She said she was taking good care of the little succulent I gave her. She said she would run the company well. She said she would visit the women and kids at the group home regularly. She said she would always wait for me. But I never replied. Of course, I never specifically removed her from my holiday mass texts either. I think when I finally meet the right person, I'll send her an invitation. Ah, enough of that. Maya is bothering me for more gossip again. I've got the story if you've got the drinks, I said. You're buying tonight.